Hey everyone, welcome to another issue of Jay and Bax's Expensive Paper. My name is Bax. I've got my partner in crime here, Jay, and we have a special guest with us tonight. We have Frank from Atlas Comics, and we've got some fun things in store. We'll be talking about Jay's trade in for his Fantastic Four issue number two. We'll be talking about Frank's statue acquisition. Yes, and MegaCon. So make sure to stay tuned. Hey, Frank.
Hey
Welcome to the
guys, what's
show.
going on? What's going on, everyone? Happy Friday. It's the weekend. We made it.
Oh,
Thanks for
it's the
having me.
weekend.
There he is, the
Thank
man, the
God.
myth, the legend, owner and co-founder of Atlast Comics. How's it hanging on this fine Friday evening in South Florida, my man?
It's hot. It's beautiful. I'm excited. Like I said, we're getting some rain back. That's always fun because after a nice hot week, it doesn't hurt to get a little rain bath. Excited for MegaCon coming up, heading over to Orlando, the happiest place in the world.
Yes, it
Are you gonna
is.
go to Disney World while you're down there, or just MegaCon?
So we'll probably go to a couple of the parks. It's mine and my daughter's birthday. We kind of share a birthday, and it so MegaCon starts the day after my birthday. So this year, not only is it my birthday, but we start the craziness of MegaCon also. So I decided let's just put them all together, and it's the kids' spring break, so it's gonna be a crazy week. I'm really excited for it, man. I'm happy we're here. We made it after the craziness of last week. That collection that we picked up there from North Carolina. It's been just go 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 go, no sleep, nothing. So it feels good to just disconnect for a couple days and just hang out with the family.
Yeah, it should
Awesome.
be
Well,
fun.
yeah, absolutely. Happy early birthday to you and your daughter.
Happy early
Um,
birthday, indeed.
Thanks,
yeah,
boys.
it sounds like a fun weekend ahead. So,
Yeah,
Definitely
so
eventful.
what parks are you going to do?
I think we're gonna do Magic Kingdom, of course. That's always the girls' favorites, and then we're probably gonna go to Busch Gardens. I'm gonna drive down to Tampa. It
Nice.
never stops, but they've never been. So I think they'll have fun. They'll enjoy it. They're old enough for it finally. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I remember I've only been to Busch Gardens once, but I remember they had some pretty awesome rides there. So I'll
yeah,
definitely
nice.
load it.
It's like our Six Flags over here in Florida.
Yeah. Yep.
I've
Well,
been to
cool.
Busch Gardens where he was over 30 years ago, and I don't remember much except that they had a white tiger. That's how long it's been. Um,
Oh, it's still there too. It's turning a little gray. It's a little more gray these days, but
just like me, so we're in the same boat.
well, we'll see. I'll report back and let you know if a lot has changed because I honestly probably haven't been back in probably close to 20 plus years also, so I can't add much.
Well, should be
Yeah.
fun. Should be a fun one for you and your family. Well, let's just dive right in. Frank, what's your origin story? How did you get into this crazy world of collecting and then now selling and being a successful business owner?
So there's kind of like I so getting into collecting, I guess originally or as an adult. I mean, it started off, kind of at childhood. I had two older brothers. My father, he was also a big time collector, so I just naturally grew up a collector, fan of comic books. But it was kind of fun. We all grew up with our unique love for a certain character. Everyone had a certain comic they collected or series. We put it all together. It was just like one massive collection. Of course, as we grew up, everything kind of went wherever we did. So we all split it up. But then as an adult, okay, and then as an adult, kind of steered away from comics after going through high school for a while, and then having kids, and then I think like most of us, it was like kind of during COVID when we were all just trying to figure out something to keep us busy and something that we enjoy doing. So um, got back to my comics. It's funny. I tell people a lot of my interest also started kickstarting watching an episode or episodes maybe of Pawn Stars. I remember people bringing in their comics and hearing how much they were selling for or worth value. I was like, really, man, I gotta check my collection. I gotta see what I have. So naturally, I'm digging through my boxes, and of course, we were all kids. We used and abused most of my PC books growing up were bagged and boarded. I mean, there were a lot of it was from like the 80s and 90s, so not a ton of value, but and I still have a lot of it. I mean, I can't even sell those books. I still have those books, so they're gonna be with me. I'm like, is it worth selling, or I'll just keep it for memory's sake. But and then actually, another day I went to my local library. A librarian saw me on the comic book section, just flipping through comics, and he came up. He's like, "Do you like comics?" I'm like, "Of course." So he ended up giving me two short boxes full, and there wasn't really anything in there. But those two boxes, I'll always remember them. Kind of helping jumpstart Atlast kind of selling. But back then, I was kind of just selling to fund the hobby, not so much like a business. It was like, oh, let me sell this and get stuff that I really wanted, type of deal. But there has been a few different how do I put this? A few different reasons and as to how we kind of came to be. It wasn't like I predicted or planned it. It kind of just happened overnight. If that makes any sense. I mean,
I was going to ask how that transition happened. So it is kind of like a just like organic thing that just materialized.
like we so I originally started off cleaning and pressing. Like I
Okay.
started cleaning and pressing my own books, and then just friends and family wanted their books cleaned and submitted for grading. And again, like I said, I was also selling, but it was just to fund my hobby. And then a lot of my clients, friends, and family, they started getting books back, and they're like, "Look, I noticed you do selling. Your platform's kind of growing. Can you help me sell my books?" And I'm like, so it originally started with me just cleaning and pressing my books, and then it became cleaning and pressing friends and families. Now consignment comes into play. Now I'm like, okay, now I'm getting all this
Mm.
stuff back, starting to sell for people. The live sales started growing and growing, and then I had a few friends reach out to me, and they're like, "Hey, can you help me? Can you help host me now?" I'm like, I never thought about that. So I was working. I mentioned earlier I was in maintenance, a maintenance technician. Then I became a supervisor and things like that. So the transition just happened where the portfolio that my company owned, where I would work, it was dissolving. So it kind of like happened all at the same time, where I'm like, okay, now I'm noticing Instagram is keeping me plenty busy, and I'm barely having time for my normal job. So a lot of my time and attention started going into Instagram and the comic book business. And then even when the company ended up selling off the portfolio, I decided to go full-time comic books. I kept thinking every day, I'm like, oh my gosh, is this going to be enough? Like, this is a huge leap of faith that I'm going into this, and am I going to have enough time to fill my days? And little did I know, years later, I just don't have enough time anymore. Like, it just kept growing and growing from there. So you can see, like, I never really planned this. It kind of just happened that way, and it kept growing. And now we got, Ryan and Chef and team, and we're going tours, and it I could have never guessed. You know what I'm saying? If I could have never
Yeah,
guessed. So
that's
jumping back
awesome. I
into this.
I
Yeah, that's great.
absolutely
It's
love
like
those
the
stories. So,
yeah, the stars align perfectly,
yep.
with the dissolving of the portfolio and then doing that. Did you always start with IG with the business when you were
So
funding your own hobby, or what? How was that? How did IG start? Like what? Because IG for me was always like a social media platform where you would go and look at pictures in somebody's, travel blog or snippets or whatever. But I didn't really get into IG sales until I started following you guys, really. So,
so I think so. I started on Facebook. Originally, I started shopping on Facebook, Facebook groups, Marketplace, OfferUp, eBay, just like how everyone else does. And then I just remember a few people mentioning, oh, just ads. Hey, come and check out my live sale, or I got this from an Instagram live sale. I'm like, how do you like what is that? And again, I didn't even have a comic books account. I would start, with my personal. I went over there, I started watching shows, and then I kept buying books. And man, I remember back then I was like, oh, I just spent $20 on a comic. This is crazy. Like I can't believe my wife's gonna kill me. I just spent $20, another 20 here, and like, oh, and again, that's why I was like, oh, I gotta start funding my hobby because so it originally started with Facebook though, and then just found Instagram. And I remember I just decided one night, it's crazy because there's so many guys, great guys that I started off with, on Instagram going live. We would just do these, I'm gonna have 9 books, they'll have 9 books, and we jump on maybe at 2 o'clock in the morning. And that's why like when I'm up late at night, I love jumping into those shows, man, because it takes me back, like I'm like, man, I love these days, this is when it was so much fun, crazy but fun, so but yeah, it's pretty much just started there from Facebook over to Instagram. And dude, I've gone to other platforms, I've heard other suggestions, and I still yet to be able to compare Instagram comic community to any other platform right now. Maybe one day there'll be one, but like I think right now Instagram is just the best.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's super
Yeah,
interesting.
it lends itself really well because it's very visual, right? In comics, when you're buying them, you get into the visual. You like to see what you're getting, even though you can't feel it. You rely on the seller to show you the book, the condition, any defects that there may be out there. So I think that helps. I think you've had a couple of shows on Whatnot. What do you think about that platform?
I mean, I use Whatnot just like again working maintenance. It's a tool. It's just one of those that you can't. I might not love it, but it's a tool, just like eBay, Facebook. I mean, Whatnot, I just don't get that community vibe from it. It just feels like a straight business, which is fine. I mean, it is a business. That's what it is. But with Instagram, it's a community, and it's so weird because on Facebook, guys are a little bit more closed off, a little bit more aggressive. I feel, and I still love them over there because there's plenty of great guys and great people that I've met over there that I eventually come over to Instagram. But and it's weird because you can see our photos, our personal photos, our names, where we live, you get that information. But on Instagram, we all have comic pages. Like most of us don't even know our real names, don't know where we're at, don't, there's nothing on our profile with photos of who we are. But we all know each other. We all buy with each other. We all talk to each other every day. It's like, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's a weird feeling, but it's almost like we're all coming on Instagram with like a mask on our face, and it's like we're all these comic book heroes, and you never know. You never know who you're gonna meet.
You don't. And that's the beauty of it, I think, because I think we have a great relationship, and I would never have met you if it weren't for Instagram. I could have found you on Facebook, and I'd be like, "Who the heck is this bearded guy? Crazy, crazy Floridian. What's going on here?" So, once you were, doing the live sales and you transitioned into this full time, when was it that you thought, "Gosh, I need help. I need to bring in a Ryan, a chef, and just start growing this thing"? Like, what was the tipping point for that?
So even before those guys, I actually brought on a buddy of mine, and I've known him for now for 32 years. He's a close friend of mine, so he was kind of helping me. I was getting where I really needed help was I'm getting booked pretty much daily, sometimes twice a day for shows, for marathons, these events, and it gets exhausting after a while. You need a time off. Spend time with the family because when I was first starting, at least for the first 2 years, and you can ask the family, nobody ever saw me. I was 24/7 locked in on comic books, building my name, building the business. Being there because one of my firm beliefs is communication is key. And I know with these comic books, collectibles in general, um, people appreciate and want communication just like I do. If I purchase something from somebody and I message you and a week later you don't message me, I'm like, I can't do this, which is another reason why I first started cleaning and pressing my comic books is because some of the pressers that I would reach out to, same thing, they wouldn't reach out to you for like a week or two. And I'm like, okay, I can't do this. Like I'm having a panic attack type of deal, So um man, I lost the original question. I went off again.
Well, how did you decide to bring in Chef and Ryan?
So okay, so now with Chef and Ryan, I stopped hosting for a little while to take a break, and then I came back, and it was the same thing. We were, when I decided to come back, all my boys, my buddies, they came to me, and they all wanted to book shows, and like I said, we were booked every day of the month, and I'm like, I can't work 7 nights a week and then working all day long by myself. Like I need Chef and Ryan. And bringing those two guys on, Chef, I've always loved. Like I've known Chef for a while, and we actually started off as a bigger team, and we kind of just it ended up just finishing with just the three of us. But it just became really crazy at how much everything on the back end can take up your time so quickly. You're thinking, oh, all I got to do is ship 5 or 6 things. That's not that bad, but all of a sudden that's 2 3 hours go by and you're like, oh my gosh, the day's already done. So I just needed help on the back end of things, and I knew the direction that I wanted to take the business. That I was going to need help, going to cons, going to events, meeting new vendors and sellers, and acquiring collections. And I was like, I was taking all these trips, California, New York, wherever need be, and I'm like, I'm drowning in it. So I decided to have a little, and it was a very surreal experience when I put out an ad like, hey, Atlast is looking, to build a team. It was a surreal experience, the amount of people that reached out and wanted to be a part of this. And I'm like, wow, dude, very humbling. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Like, I didn't realize how many people, if I asked for help, would be so down for it. I mean, we were meeting people internationally. I mean, people were reaching out from Germany and Canada and Australia and all these places. I'm like, guys, how would that even work? Like, some of us are 6 8 hours apart. When you're sleeping, I'm awake, so
Yeah.
you know um but a few of the guys that we brought on, and again, Chef joined a little bit later. He was kind of doing his own thing for a little while. um but so I interviewed people for about 2 weeks. I narrowed the list down, and then I believe it was my buddy Jeff on Instagram. He gave me the idea to hold like an audition, right? So I got all the candidates. I decided to do a marathon show where I would be live all day long, and I would give each one of the guys an hour long to host
Mhm.
me. And then later, I would let the audience vote who was the best host of the day.
Oh, that's fun.
And a bunch of guys did phenomenal. I mean, I don't know if they're promoting themselves and telling people, "Hey, go vote here," but they got tons of votes. I didn't realize how many people actually watched the day. So it was fun. But what I will say is that Ryan, his set in particular, like when I mean he did such a phenomenal job hosting me. I was entertained. I know that people were entertained, and on top of that, we made the most sales of the day. And people can say, oh, it was a certain hour of the day or whatever, but at the end of the day, he made probably 8 times more. Like it was like
Oh, wow.
a big
Yeah.
amount in 1 hour. I think he sold like my two or three biggest books of the day type of deal you know
Wow.
so Ryan to me was the one that I really wasn't expecting. Like, he was just like, hey, you're part of the crowd. The other guys, like I said, they're not with us any longer, but the guys that I kind of had a feeling, I'm like, all right, they're going to be good, whatever. Ryan was the person that I knew the least about. And, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget his performance that day. He was at a wedding, and he's like, "Oh, I got to take time out to come and host this man." I mean, he's in his tuxedo. He took his stuff off, and I'm like, this guy. So that showed hard determination. He wasn't gonna miss it. He was there. There was other guys who missed where I scheduled them. They missed their scheduled
Mhm.
hour, and they're like, "Oh, I forgot." And I'm like, "This man's at a wedding and made it, and not only made it, but outsold everybody." But so Ryan, immediately, I was like, "Dude." I wasn't even expecting to bring as many people on as I did, because I was like, oh, all I need is one or two guys. I ended up with like 4 or 5, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just figure out what we're gonna do. And anyways, the other guys, like I said, we've dwindled down our numbers since that day. But no bad blood. It was just it didn't work. Like what we were doing was it's a lot. You really got to be all in for this kind of thing. And some guys they have families. They also had other jobs. So and Ryan was working three jobs. He's doing this pretty much full time now. Like I told him, I was like, but Chef, he reached out. He was over at the Philippines, and like I said, I've always loved Chef. But he was doing his own thing. Eventually, he reached out and he's like, "Hey, I want to be part of the team." And I was like, "Look, when you come back, take your time with the family. When you come back, do your own thing. If you still feel this way later, no problem at all. But I just want to make sure that that's what you want to do because I'm like, hey, when you're in, you end up like it's hard to get out because you're so busy. There's so much to do. You can't leave loose ends. It's a lot. So, but those guys, man, they're like family now. Like I talk to them every day, several times a day. We all know each other's birthdays, and it's like it's family. And again, all online. We all had
Yeah.
not met each other in person until X, Y, and Z, and now it's like we see each other every other month because of these tours and things like that. So it's been crazy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Sounds like it. Yeah. Um, I'm curious too. You had mentioned that you take consignments, right? I'm curious how that works for you. What does that model look like? Do people send their books to you and you decide to take them on, or
So
what? How does that happen?
so again, when it comes to sales, right? My motto is we don't say no, we figure it out, right? Like there's
Okay.
no no in sales. You can't take a no. We got to figure it out. So consignment, we have all types of options. We give everyone all types of options. So consignment, we can do it on post. You can send it in. We can put it in our live sales. We can do whatever. There, we have options for you guys. So that's for consignment. You can either post it on the page or you can send it in, and we can, uh, put them up during our live sales.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Interesting. And also great philosophy to have, by the way, of not saying no, just figure it out.
Figure it
Not
out. There's
everyone.
always a way. There's always a way.
Yeah. Yep. That's
There's
great.
always a way, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. But the proof of that is that we just made a big trade. And that's a great mentality to have. But before we get into the trade, can you walk us a little bit behind the scenes of hosting a live sale? What goes into it?
Well, there's hosting on scene, and then there's hosting on online. So I mean, of course, we call that remote. Pretty much just from A to Z is just getting to know the seller, their intentions, kind of giving them a rundown of kind of our expectations of going live with us. It used to be very free, but over time you start building these rules and things, requirements and stuff. They're not bad. It's honestly to make somebody successful so that we're successful. So we like to help you guys out and let hey, this works, this doesn't work, things like that. Then of course it's showtime. We schedule it's showtime. You show your books. We help however we can on our end. We will also write down all the claims, who claimed it for what amount. We keep all those notes on our end so that way the seller is free to just focus on selling their items. And then afterwards we email them a spreadsheet of all their claims and everything organized. Mhm.
Nice.
Do you do any vetting of the sellers? Because it's your page, right? So if some seller doesn't send a book or it's not in the condition that they said it was, they sell you a Hulk 181 as a 9.0 and you get it and it's a 3.0. Like, of course, that's not good. And they might not go to the seller right away. They might go to Atlast because it was on Atlast page that I got it.
Those kind of things, I mean, they used to happen for sure. When we first started, you're trying to get your name out, you're trying to just get as many people on board. What I can say is, again, since we've had the team, we've been growing our sellers. For the most part, all of our sellers are vetted. We really only work with people that we know, names that everyone knows in this community, kind of thing. We've done plenty of business before, never any issues. So there is a bit of a vetting of the sellers that we do. That was kind of what I mentioned before, the requirements and things like that. But um, actually, starting this year, we started our exclusive sellers program where we got like a group of guys that
Mhm.
we kind of all help each other build up. There's also incentives being an exclusive seller with Atlast Comics also. So that's also kind of helped and, you know, filled our schedule just with those specific guys. But we still will host, you know, non-exclusive members. It's just, again, really, it's just the incentives that you're not getting now that those guys get. But everyone's vetted. And at the end of the day, we're completely responsible for any issues on the back end. You know, we've had to make situations right with sellers and buyers on both ends, where maybe this seller was like, "Oh, you know, I'm not refunding this," and I'll tell the buyer, "Send the item to me, I'll refund you, no problem." But at the end of the day, you know, right is right, and I'm gonna make sure everyone's happy. That's how it should be, right?
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
I think you have a great mentality for business of figuring a way out, never saying no, and making things right. I think that's honestly in any business the most important part of that business. Because the customer's he's the one paying, for you to do something, and you owe it to them. So that's great. Um, do you have more fun selling your own books when you're at Last HQ or hosting?
Hmm. I mean, hosting's fun. It is easier, but I've I always feel like I get the job done better when I'm selling on site or selling myself because I'm in control of what's being seen, what's being shown. Is it in the good light? I mean, if it's my books, it's easier because I can always adjust the price and know where I need to be. And you know what my favorite saying is, we gotta go. So it's like, you know, if someone's interested, we're getting offers on this book. All right, somebody type in X, Y, and Z, we can get it done. But it's hard when you're hosting because you can't, you know, always be like telling your guys like, hey guys, we gotta go. Like drop the, you know, I'm not trying to push you guys to drop books, but like it's like, you know, at some point, you know, we gotta make some sort of deals happen, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah. Makes
yeah, you
sense.
gotta. Sun's getting low.
Yep. Speaking about deals, should we
Let's do it.
Shall
go
we?
into your
Shall we
trade,
talk
Jay?
about?
Let's do
So
it.
yeah,
Like,
speaking of trades, and figuring out a way. Um, like Frank says, they'll post books. Some of them are consignments, some of them are his own, some of them he found in collections. And typically, big books that are keys tend to go pretty quickly because they're great prices. They're great. He's a great seller. Um, but there was this one, this Fantastic Four #2, that was there for a little over a week. And I kept looking at it and looking at it, and I'm like, God, it's a great book. It's in the price for the condition it's in. We got to figure out a way, right?
mm-hmm.
So I sent him a message in IG, and I'm like, hey, Frank, you still got this? Like, I don't see it as sold. Is there any way we can do a trade? And, he said, send me what books you have. So I sent him a couple of pictures. We worked out a deal. I'll show the books that we exchanged. Um, so you can see it starts there, and it was 8 books total that I sent him over. Um, most of them hurt a little bit because they're part of the collection, and you always have that little bit of pride and joy.
Yeah, you've had those. Oh, your
Um,
Batman. Oh man.
Batman 423, the
Yeah.
Detective 888, first cover appearance of Red Sonia.
I just
But
yeah, I didn't even register that Daredevil, by the way.
yeah,
That's yeah.
um,
Wow.
Nice set of books, man. Good
Yeah.
set of books.
yeah. But the truth is that a bunch of this I found on the wild, and after I had somebody work on them, they went way up in value. So it wasn't that hard to get rid of them because when you're doing a trade, and someone's got to give, and I knew that I wasn't going to get more than fair market value for it. But at the end of the day, if you saw, there are also some modern books that every time, Frank, and you can attest to this, every time there's a live sale or a claim sale, you see them, like that ASM 252.
Every show.
Every show there's one or two, and in just the same condition or better. Same with that Bat 423, that Jock cover, the Detective 880. So we work it out. I shipped the books off to Florida. He got them, and then he mailed me this puppy,
Oh my God, look at that.
which, look at that. That's just
It's freaking
gorgeous.
gorgeous.
Hold on, hold on. I'll go ahead and there you go. You can go.
Look at that, dude. FF number 230, off white pages, first scrolls, and I love those scrolls actually. I mean, right behind Doctor Doom. I mean, Super Scrolls to me was always one of my favorite FF villain. So to get one of those, I mean, still a 10-cent Marvel. Again, those other books are phenomenal, but like you said, you can always get those books back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really it, because you don't come across a Fantastic Four 2 every day. 95% of the books that I traded, you do find very often on claim sales or shows or whatever. So it hurt a little bit, like I said, because they're part of the collection. But at the end of the day, I think it's more than worth it, and I'm super happy about it. And
Good.
I owe it to my primo here, who was great to work with on that trade. And of course, I bought a bunch of stuff from him. I think I should have stock in Atlast now,
You do, you
for my
do.
401k. Um, but yeah, that was kind of my side on it, and maybe Frank, you can tell us a little bit on your side, how what your thought process is when working out on a trade like this.
I mean, it's something that I've slowly grown into, and I want to say it happened more so towards like around the end of last year. I really wasn't big into trading, um, but I found now it does help kind of rotate inventory every once in a while. And it hooks people up because the book that you got, I was able to help my other buddy out with. So to me, it was like kind of like a trifecta, like a win-win-win trifecta, and stuff like that happens constantly. Where I'm like in the middle, making deals happen, right, for all these people. It's every day. So I love that. Oh, wait, mirrored. I love that you got to enjoy it. My buddy's happy, and again, I was able to bring your old PC becomes new to new inventory for a show for
Mhm.
someone else who wants that book now too. And I consider it an honor now. Like I have a piece of me in your collection. I keep forgetting it's mirrored, but so in your collection now you got like a piece of me there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's gonna go on this wall. I know exactly where, but I wanted to show it down here for the show today. But yeah, it's a great way to do it, and obviously this is my biggest trade. Um, and maybe it will be for a while, because Frank took all my majors laps. No, I'm kidding. I'm
No
kidding.
way. I
I
was gonna
still,
say there's some up there I'll take right now. I'll
I
take them all
still,
right now.
I still have a lot here. But I'm not ready to give some of these away. Um,
We've done some trades on like AF-15s in the past with people where it was like,
Oh wow.
part cash and then some
Yeah.
consignment and then some trade in. Like it was like a
Okay.
major like deal that took the course of like a few months to happen, but it was again, we got it done. I was like, man, I really would have loved the cash, but I do also understand we're talking a lot of money for one book, and it
Yeah.
doesn't hurt to get some new inventory in also. Instead of it just being a straight payment plan, I'm like, why don't you just send some books? We take some off the total. So he was like, sure. Sent in some books, help it down, and deals can and do get done on the back end. They take some time, for the fruit to labor, but it's there.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Because even if we recap the trade fairly quickly here. It was a few days of going back and forth. Because at the end, these are the books that I sent, but originally I presented way more.
Mhm.
Um, and then kind of you told me like which ones you could move faster, which ones make sense, that kind of thing. So it is not just a hey, you want these? Sure, I'll take these three and let's make a deal. Um, so there was some back and forth
Yeah,
to that.
it does happen. And it's not just off of one book. I mean, on the back end, people don't realize, but like the page again, it's like a living monster. On the back end, I get tons of DMs. Like right now, just this time being with you guys, I guarantee I'm gonna go on IG and it's Friday night through the roof. Which and I love that. I love that because I'm the kind of person who likes to stay busy. But again, some of these trade deals, like you were saying, Jay, they take time because now I'm gonna have dinner. It's the birthday. It's this, but I have to go now and I have to research fair market value. I have to look at last sales. Where's this book trending? There's just that kind of homework on the back end that takes time because it's not just one person. There's like an army waiting for me, and I'm like one guy.
Yeah, yeah. It's my book at the time was not the only one you had cooking in the kitchen, right? You had other deals going on.
Yeah,
So that's one thing I definitely like about you, and the page and the work that you do is that you always get back to people on DMs.
of course.
Sometimes it's fairly quickly, sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but of course we understand you have a life outside of Atlas. Um, but that's the one thing that I know that if I send you a message and a trade, I'm gonna hear back from you. And it's typically with this great attitude of let's get the deal done. Which, like I said, it bodes really well for IG live sales.
It should be. I wish everybody was like that. I would watch more shows. Sometimes like I asked Chef, I'm like, I wish I can just sit down and watch like our shows on the back end and see like what people see from us. I want to be in your guys' seats sometimes shopping. But I wish there was other shows that had like our kind of energy and craziness. And I'm not trying to toot our own horn, but I've watched recaps of our show and I'm like, Jeff, did we really say that? Did we really act like that? Did we really do? Like I'm seeing prices we sold. I'm like, dude, we blew that. We blew it out, dude. Like that was crazy, dude. I'm like, man, these guys must be like, oh man, these guys are nuts. I don't know how sometimes I'm like, yeah, we still have people watching us. This is crazy. It's like 4 in the morning. We're still going.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
because it's
Yeah.
all hours of the morning, especially if it's a West Coast seller and Ryan's selling, I know that I can still tune in at 11 o'clock Central Time, and he's gonna be there with the crazy Croatian, drinking something and just having a grand old time. Um, do you remember the first big collection that you got to sell? What was that like?
So you wanna hear? This is a crazy story. So like I was telling you guys, I had this job. Originally, I moved up from Miami. We moved to Broward, and then we moved to Port St. Lucie. I had these plans with my company that they were going to expand the portfolio. They never told me they were going to dissolve the portfolio. So I moved up there to take on this new territory. And my wife and I, we just bought this house. I mean, this house needed work. Of course, the maintenance guy, I mean, let's buy a cheaper home. I'll just fix it up, honey. Horrible mistake. But anyways, um, so we moved into this new home, and I'm in the comic book game at this point. So I'm sending books in, cleaning and pressing, submitting. I get a notification on the Ring doorbell that I had my delivery coming back from CGC from UPS. So I was like, oh, that's strange, but okay. I didn't get a notification. So I get home and I'm opening up these boxes and I'm like, this is not my order. It was like two huge boxes. It was the previous owner of my house apparently passed away, and he sent in this crazy crazy order of books. And I tried dude, I swear to God, I'm opening this and I'm like, and I'm shaking. There's like a TMNT number one, and again at the time I
Oh
didn't
my
know that there
god.
was again, I didn't know at the time that there was different printings. So I'm opening
Yeah,
this up.
okay.
I'm like, TMNT number one, it's a 9.6. And again, this is during COVID times when prices are here,
Yeah.
So I'm like, Mandy, I don't know what this is, and I'm going through the slabs. There's X-Men 101s, Ultimate Fallout 4, just key after key. And I'm like, dude, this is insane. So ended up finding out. And I tried getting in contact with the family. I reached out to the realtor. They wanted no communication. And I told them, like, we received XY, these packages. And they're like, they, whatever. So I'm like, okay, boom.
Wow.
All I was like, dude, I felt like it was like a sign from God, like, oh
I was
my
gonna say
God.
that's like that's so serendipitous, like to like your position and like getting into this, and then that happens. That's crazy. That's
It was
absolutely
like,
crazy.
just, I don't know, like an angel,
Yeah.
found us because again, there was just so many things happening at that time that it was like, I was drowning. I was drowning during those days. And I'm like, I don't know, so many things, so many wheels were spinning. And I'm like, I can't catch up, so, this collection comes in and I'm like, all right, boom, psh, I can sell it all. And that's like also what helped jumpstart At Last again. Like another, like I said, there was like a bunch of different things that just like kept happening. And I remember the family the whole time encouraging me, like, "Oh, you really need to start selling comics. You really." And I was like, "I don't know. I just like I like collecting. Like this is like a hobby. It's fun. It's fun for me. I just and just snowballed. It was like one thing after another just kept happening. I was like, okay, okay, I'll just keep
Yeah.
working,
Just keep feeding it.
Yeah.
just keep going."
Just get it, man.
Yeah. Have you noticed a slowdown at all, just with other external things happening in the world? Has that impacted your business at all, or have you been kind of immune to it?
Um. So I mean, business is business as usual. We've
Yeah.
been busy. We're always going to be busy. We can, feel the effect on the market as far as pricing.
Yep.
Now, again, I wasn't a big page during COVID. I wasn't a big seller during COVID times when these guys were making double FMV. I'm sure these comic shops that have been holding these books, they're getting paid 5 times what they paid for these books and
Hmm.
stuff. So, you get a lot of those guys that were big back then that are hating these times right now where the market is.
Yeah.
But for
It's like a
me, I was small back then. I couldn't even
yeah.
afford any of those books. So for me personally, I kind of I hate and I like it, but I like it a lot more because I can afford to buy these awesome shows so I can
Yep.
sell these items a lot faster now. Where I was
Yeah.
hoping I have this huge mega key and I'm like, I really need someone to buy this book. I can't even afford to have this book in my possession any longer, so it's kind of like a catch 22 now. The other bad part about it is like, yeah, people can start affording these great books again, but it's also like your margins are a lot smaller when you're purchasing collections. Everyone tells
Hmm.
you, oh, I bought this during COVID, so I need this amount. I'm like, well, that's not what it's worth anymore. Like I hate to be the bearer of the bad news, but this is what these books go for now, so it does make it tough in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. And I know everything kind of works in cycles, and so it's been interesting to see, yeah, the pricing that was going on during the pandemic, and that's when I got brought back in. So some of my books are, uh, you know, I'm a little under on, but it's fine. Like I bought them because I like the issue. I wanted it in my collection. I'm fine with it, and that's just the way it is. And
Hmm.
but it's always interesting to see just how different markets react to the cycle that they're in and the strategies that have to be deployed to adapt to it. Um, and I bring that up because if we look at like Pokemon right now, like to me that still is like just crazy. It hasn't. I don't know
Pump
if
it
it's
up.
peaked yet or like where it's at in its cycle, but it's um it's
I
insane. I mean, you know people are
Pokemon's a little different though because that IP is
yeah
I mean it's number one. It beats everything, Nintendo, everything. I mean, so that's a market that can keep going up. Um, Comics and everything else like that. I mean, it's like stocks.
yeah
You just never know. Like you said, bubbles.
yeah So I know one of the topics we wanted to talk about was the statue acquisition. Uh, let's talk about that.
Yes.
And I get like this because of just how much work went towards this collection, and I'm grateful and I'm honored to be a part of it. I had a buddy of mine, big time friend of the page, friend to me, but you know what I mean. We met, through Instagram, our shows and stuff like that, and we just like all of us, we just built a relationship. He's super sweet, super humble buddy of mine named Jamie. Beautiful family in North Carolina. Unfortunately, a few years ago, he lost his brother. He passed away, and that him leaving behind his wife and two beautiful children, their home and everything. And again, this statue collection, it's been built over a course of like 30 years, so it's huge. It's 400 plus boxes, statues and figures and things. So he ended up reaching out to me, and we've been going back and forth for a few months now. We've been working out details, building an inventory list, coming up with contracts. So finally comes the day where it's like, hey, we're ready for a pickup. I spoke to the consignment client, sweet, sweet, sweet lady, to help reassure her because it's not a cheap collection, and it takes a lot of trust for her to say, I don't even know this guy. She's not on Instagram. She doesn't know me. So it takes a lot. And again, sometimes, like, again, these are those moments that also humble me because I'm like, I'm so used to people knowing me and trusting me. I mean, I've had people send me AF-15s, cleaning and pressing, like, big. So sometimes I'm like, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. She doesn't know me, and she's about to give me, her husband's whole entire, valuable collection. It's very right. So that I need to spend time getting to know the person. So we made the plans. I'm like, you know what? I figure while I'm up there, let me stop by a buddy's. We'll do a 2 day live sale, and then I'll pick up the collection and drove it all down. We spent the better half of maybe an hour and a half packing this huge truck full, and that's because we had a ton of help. And I'm just thinking, when I get home, I don't have all these people here to help me. It's just going to be me and my daughters emptying this 26-foot, the biggest U-Haul truck that they had on the lot is what I had to end up grabbing. And um, I love seeing the reaction that the community is giving. How respectful they're also being towards the collection. Me explaining to them like, hey, I know we normally have fun with these comics and things like that, but I promise you, like, it's going to a good cause. Yes, I'm making a fee. It's a lot of work, storage. I don't even want to go there. How much I've spent on just getting that collection from there to here, the time and hours. I just caught up on sleep last night. Since last Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but the one previous was the last time I slept good.
Oh
So
man.
it took a lot. It took a lot. Making these things happen where everyone sees it online, like, oh, he just picked up a collection. Now he's going live. It's like, I wish everyone could do one of these things, one of these missions, with me to pick up one of these collections to see what goes into it. Because comic books is one thing. Statues, I mean, when they're big boxes, each
Yeah.
one of these pieces, shipping, I mean, it's storing, everything it's massive, but it's one of the most impressive statue collections. I mean, Hot Toys, Sideshow, Bowens, I mean, all the statues and characters that people would want, just phenomenal pieces. We were able, me and my buddy, to and I think this is probably what spent the most time was actually atomizing everything onto a spreadsheet, and then also hyperlinking photos to the exact statues that are available. So that took us a few days in itself, just building that list and going through all the statues, knowing exactly, because you can't just put Thanos. There's freaking painted Thanos, modern Thanos, Thanos with the glove, Thanos on the throne. Like, you have to
Wow.
find all these things, and make sure all the pieces are in the boxes, that we have the like. Took a lot of
It's a
time and
lot.
effort, but I'm proud of everything that we've done. We've been selling a ton of the statues. People are reaching out, they're supporting. Even friends of the deceased, reached out and they're like, hey, can I have a piece of his collection to remember him by? And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, absolutely. It's like a new journey for me. I've never been responsible to sell a massive statue collection. So It's kind
Yeah.
of like a promotion at a job. It's like, it's like a bit of new life. Something different.
Yeah. Expanding the portfolio, right?
Exactly.
There you go. I hope you had good
um,
insurance driving down back
Yes.
from North Carolina, because
Yes. And again,
400 statues from that caliber, that is not a small amount of money.
no, no, it's not. And again, not only that was I coming down with the statue collection, but I was also responsible for invoicing and shipping out the live sale, the 2 day
That you
long
were there.
night sale. While I was there, I said, because the owner of that collection, he works full time. He's like, there's no way I'm going to be able to invoice and ship out this amount of books. I wasn't expecting to sell this amount. I'm like, it's a lot. So I was like, you know what? I'll take care of it. I know I'll get it done right. It's fine. Yeah, I'm not saying he won't get it done right, but I mean, as collectors, when I pay for something, you want it, shipped
yeah.
ASAP, so I felt more comfortable if you know what? I'll just take care of it. I'll take care of it, one stop shop, baby.
Yeah, and you're the expert, right? You got the experience, so why not take advantage of it?
So I will say, as of today, I finally have all paid orders packed up and shipped out. Everything done. Minus payment plans or whatever else. All done finally.
Nice.
It's been crazy.
Congrats. How does that differ from selling a comic? Are they a little harder to move just because of the value or the character?
So what I will say is, they are pricier pieces. Again,
Yeah.
I had an idea, but I had no idea, that every one of these things could be a pricier piece. Um, they're a little harder to move because I can't store them,
Yeah.
where I live. So I have to rely on the list. Soon, I'll have Ryan come in. He's gonna help me out with a live sale and things like that, so we can get more eyes on the page. But yeah, it's definitely a lot harder so far to sell. I can tell you that I haven't, like, I've promoted it, but I haven't really feel like I've started selling them, even though we've sold a few. They're bulkier, or harder to ship, things like that. But what I enjoy about it is that I'm selling to collectors. Whereas when
Mhm.
I'm selling comic books, it's comic buyers or comic sellers that come in to buy. So it feels good knowing that these pieces are going to somebody who actually wants them. They're going to cherish them. They're going to display them. They're going to enjoy them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I collect both. So, but I have less statues just because of the
They take
price
up room.
point, and also the space, right? But I really enjoy having them. I mean, I wish I had that space is a problem, but I wish I had more space. So, and
That's
more
where I'm
money.
at.
But
As much as I would want to keep this collection, I'm like, I
yeah,
have nowhere to put these things. My wife's
yeah.
not gonna let me put any of that stuff in the bedroom. For you guys that where your significant others allow it, I'm like, you guys, more
Oh
power
no,
to you.
Nope.
No.
that's down here in the basement. That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
I had to
Uh,
convert my garage into my office because I got kicked out of. I was working out of the living room. I've had to keep switching around the house until I finally decided I'm gonna just convert the garage into my office, and that's my office now.
yeah, yeah, I'll be able
Nice.
to go nuts.
Right.
Awesome. So I know we're coming up at the hour here. Let's talk about MegaCon. Uh, what's the game plan? Is this your first MegaCon? You would,
This. Mhm.
The,
that's the only two questions I have as far as right now. So
the game plan is to get Jay a Belen Ortega piece.
Yeah, yeah. I'm coming this year. I feel a little more prepared for it. Like we mentioned it earlier. I'm gonna start this trip up half a family trip and then half a business trip. I compromised with my wife. I said, look, it's also my birthday. It's also spring break. It's my daughter's birthday. So I was like, I got to figure out a way as a family man and a business owner to like combine both worlds where everyone it works out. So we'll be at the parks. Wednesday's my birthday. Thursday starts MegaCon. So from Thursday to Sunday, we have shows scheduled at the event at MegaCon. We'll be going live from different sellers' booths, from some artists. We have giveaways. Um, I kind of planning to open up my 1999 Pokemon base set box that I just picked up, still sealed. I
Oh man.
really want to crack it open. We have a ASM 129 that we're going to be giving away on Sunday. Also, First Punisher. It's been on the page for a while. B&B, our buddies, Brandon and Brian, they were the one who put the book up, and I was like, I don't know, just don't ship it to me. Just ship it directly to whoever wins it. And I intended to give it away last Friday. Of course, I went to North Carolina. And then I'm like, should I give it away today? And I'm like, well, MegaCon's already next week. Why don't I just incorporate then and we give it away? I pick it up from B&B Live, and I'm like, let's just give it away right now. I don't know. I don't know yet. That's not what I'm doing. You don't know. Keep you on your toes. But MegaCon's gonna be awesome. Chef and Ryan, they're flying in on Tuesday. I'm picking up my buddies. And from then on, it'll be very little sleep. It's just going to be nonstop craziness, between, the daily events at MegaCon. And then afterwards, the plan is to be selling every night. If you're local in the area, you want to go live, you have some books, you can pass by the Airbnb, and we have a crazy sell off every single night. It's going to be
Nice.
crazy.
Yeah. Do you know the vendors who are going to be around you? Just so in case people are listening to this and they want to stop by your booth.
So I
Do you
don't
know
have
where
an
they can
actual
find you?
booth. I don't have an
Oh,
actual
okay.
booth. No,
I
no.
apologize.
You're good.
Yeah.
We're gonna be going live from a few friends who have booths, like just going
Okay.
live from booth to booth. So, but some names to come and check out if you guys are gonna be at MegaCon. Definitely go check out our buddies B&B. Always amazing books, great deals. They don't jack up prices for cons because they come to sell books. We have our buddy. I'm not sure if he's going. I think they're going by Cerberus. Sorry, he has. Anyways, he has a whatnot name and then a business name, but I think it's going to be Cerberus, and our buddy Realistic Comics also, our buddy Nick. So there's going to be a few booths out there that, local guys, great vendors, great books, great prices. In other words, I can't vouch for all those other guys. They might be great guys, but sometimes they got those, well, we all like to call con prices, and it doesn't
Yep.
have a friendly ring to it either. So take it for what you will.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. But B&B are great. I know I've bought stuff for them before, and they're always a pleasure to deal with. So that one should be fun. I'll be tuning in.
Oh, that'll be Sunday. Sunday. We're gonna end the weekend off with them because if we go first, then everyone just there's no pizzazz. Gotta end it with a bang.
Yeah, gotta go with the save the best for last, right?
That's the one.
That's right. Yep.
Good deal. Well, as
Alrighty.
we get close to the end here, any funny and crazy stories that you want to close out of in this crazy world of the IG live sales?
Have I not been entertaining enough, man?
You've
You
been
need
so
more from
entertaining.
me?
I never said that. Let it be on the record that I never said that.
Be on the record.
Any final thoughts?
Oh man, what I would definitely say is, what I tell people all the time, that I'm completely just from the bottom of my heart just grateful to be where I'm at today. I would have never expected to actually be doing what I love and not just, where I've worked and been through, the trust and the experience, the relationships. I've met so many freaking fantastic people in this community. Treat everybody the same, respect, love, and just just do good. Do what you can with what time we have here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's good
That was
advice.
that was
Well,
deep.
It
before
was.
before signing off, you have to give us a you got it.
Oh, you got it. Let's go. I need my buzzer.
Yeah, no buzzer tonight. Well, Frank, it's been great having you. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you joining the live stream. Wish you the best. Have fun at MegaCon. Make a
Everyone.
lot of money, but have
Yep.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
everyone watching, go and follow Frank at Atlast Comics on Instagram. Any other socials they can check you out on?
I would just say, Instagram, maybe whatnot. My daughters now are kind of taking over that account, trying to get them more involved in the business of
Nice.
things, but they're enjoying it. So yeah, those two pages where you'll find us mostly at. I neglect Facebook with the Outlast page too much, but find us over there for sure.
All right. We'll make sure to put a link in the show description below. So
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me, man. I hope you guys are able to make it to some of these events next week.
I would love to. I would love to. It's I was just in Orlando. I should have planned my trip a little better, but someday I'll get back out there. So
I'm gonna hold you to that. Where are you?
all
There you
right,
are.
you do it. You do it. All right. Well, thanks
Uh,
again so much for being here. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. If you have any questions for Frank or us, feel free to leave it in the comments below. We'll do our best to get them answered. So until next time, keep
keep
flipping those
flipping those
pages,
pages,
and we'll see
and
you in
we'll
the next
see you in
issue.
the next issue.
All right.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.